Have your emotions completely taken over? Or have particular emotions completely taken control of you? Perhaps it's anger, maybe it's sadness, maybe it's guilt. Whatever it is, you feel you no longer know what's going on. Why is it that there are certain moments where emotions can come up and they absolutely possess you until after you pass, then you say, oh, I don't know what just happened. I'm going to share with you a practice today that I've done on myself and the clients that I work with that's just really going to help you at least separate from that emotion. This way you can observe it and see it less as an adversary. The first thing to know about emotions is that we've commonly associated some emotions as good emotions that we should exhibit: happiness, excitement, and joy. And there's certain emotions we cast as bad and we should reject. Anger, intense ambition, jealousy. We look at them as very, very bad and we have very, very good, essentially causing an internal split. We are at opposition with each other. The most common way that we have addressed emotions is just to pick a few and stick with that and suppress the rest, ignore the rest. But what ends up happening is anything you reject, anything you try to suppress, doesn't go anywhere. It goes right below the conscious awareness into the magical and mystical world of the unconscious. In that realm, we don't know what it looks like, what goes on, but it's moving, it shapes things, clears away irrelevant topics, and has your conscious awareness focus only on a few things. Essentially, it's a filtering system. The first thing we want to do when it comes to having a healthy relationship with our emotions is to first, do not, at least for the time being, do not look at any emotion as bad or good. Instead, I want you to look at emotions as signals. Signals and ways to interact with life. And also a way to express your authentic self. You see, when you go towards ego-soul integration, where the unconscious becomes conscious to you, you've made peace, you've accepted, you've integrated. You no longer see them as bad or good. You see them as one unifying, harmonious being. And so if you first look at them as that, that's going to help you move into the next step. The next step I call the council of emotions. So let's imagine you are a king. And within, or we can make it more modern, let's just say you are a president. You're a president, and then you have your members of cabinet. Each member, imagine it associated with an emotion: anger, lust, jealousy, joy, sadness, all the ones that you find familiar to you that you connect with most, in both good ways and bad ways. I want you, with each emotion, to have a notebook, write out with each emotion, give it a name, give it a personality, and then figure out its message. What is the message that this particular emotion is trying to convey to me? When you name something, you separate it from yourself. Oftentimes when we have intense emotion, we start to over time embody as that emotion. We are angry people. I am a sad person. But you're not. You are all of them and none of them at the same time. So you want to separate first to be an observer. And so by naming it, it separates and also takes away its power. By figuring out its personality, it's by understanding how does it operate within you. What does it want you to do? What does it crave? What does it reject? And then finally, once you get those two there, what is the signal and message trying to pass on to you? What's the story behind this emotion? Go ahead and do that with every single emotion as much as you can. You might not get all of them in one day or in one sitting. You might need some couple weeks to go by for you to reflect on and then actually come with a clear insight as to, oh, this, you know what, I actually have this emotion that comes up more often, Or I just realized I've been rejecting this and this emotion. So take your time, fill it out. Once you've filled them out, now we can go to the next stage. I want you to look at that sheet of paper with all the emotions and label which emotion are you most connected to in healthy ways and unhealthy ways. So which emotion are you connected to in a healthy way? Which emotion are you connected to in an unhealthy way? And which ones are just sort of neutral? You don't really have any feeling towards them. What you'll find as you do this is you will have perhaps one or two emotions that you are the most intimate with. They are your go-to. So for me, I'll use myself as an example. Anger was a big companion. I used anger a lot. I used it anytime I felt frustrated, rejected, pushed into a corner. And for me, when I did this practice, the anger that I was most connected to also suppressed every other emotion. Because I've brought this emotion and elevated its status, by proxy, it has suppressed the others, which then completely leaves me out of balance internally and also in conflict because they're not harmonious anymore. And so what does that mean? Once we identify the few main attachment points, you can literally on your sheet of paper draw a line from that emotion down, and that representation is going beneath from conscious to unconscious. What story is that emotion linked to? Is it linked to a general feeling of rejection you've had growing up? See, I was bullied a lot as a kid. I immigrated from Iraq, and so, I wasn't dressed the best. My parents chose what I got to wear, and so they dressed me in ways that wasn't fitting with the culture, and, I got picked on a lot for it. I was also very passive of an individual. I didn't like confrontation, and so I had people just pick on me for it because I was an easy choice. And that lasted for a couple years, and over time, it festered in me in a sense of anger. I didn't really know exactly where that anger came from, but the anger shaped everything I did. It shaped the direction I go, the way I speak, the way I act, the persona I have. And so those particular emotions trail down and they connect to something. And when they connect and you figure it out, it may take time, won't be right away. But when you find what it connects to, that is the key to the first step towards integration. Because once you find what it is that it's connected to, that is now time to sit with and contend with. And it's going to be unpleasant. It's not going to be fun. You might avoid it. But today is a call for you to take that step and tackle it. Observe inwardly with curiosity, adventure, love, compassion, a firm hand. To wrestle with that story, that narrative that you've been living by. To take away the things that no longer serve you. They may have served you at one point, and that's totally fine. But you're in a different stage now. You're in a stage to transcend. And so some stories have to be let go of. But you also have to integrate it into you, knowing that it is still part of you. And that if you harness its power, when you harness anger in the right way, it can be fuel. But if you get consumed by it, it will burn your house down. You'll be in internal conflict. You are not to obsess over any single one. Meant to be down center. Imagine two Venn diagram, two circles with that center. That, the razor's edge. And so when you contend with them, you let go of old stories, you integrate the good and bad, knowing that they're not good and bad, that they're both intertwined. And then number 3, you reimagine your life moving forward. You reinterpret your purpose, and your purpose will come to you. When you unravel and unpack, you awaken a spirit and light within you that I can only attribute to the power of God, to the power of the universe. And it wasn't just me. I've had I've had a client just last week mention to me that there's been an awakening power within him that he doesn't know whether it was just him or something foreign, but it's within him. He's just connecting to both realms, the internal and the external. You can't connect to the external until you connect to the internal. Awaken it, unpack, unravel. And then once you unravel it, you're going to feel all of a sudden information coming to you, life coming to you. And what you make of that, what you do with it, that's the beauty. And that is the adventure. And that is currently what I live for and feels a divine purpose for me to awaken that within you. The integration between ego and soul. So you can live an authentic life. And I don't want, this is something that always sits with me and it bugs me. And I feel compelled to help people with. Is that when I meet people, I have a business right now, I have an academy and I teach jiu-jitsu, and we also have yoga in the same facility, and I get all sorts of people that come in through my door, and I'll meet individuals and I'm talking to them, and I can tell I'm talking to the persona. All of us have a persona, but some have it gripped by their persona. And all my intention in that moment is I want to talk to the person behind that persona, because people will give you glimpses of it. People will give you glimpses of their pain. There's this inner calling within the unconscious that seeks help. You can't help it. It seeks it, but it won't do it overtly. It's very covert. You have to pay attention to it, but it will show itself. And all I want to do is have that individual shed back that persona, the performer, contend with their demons and dragons, because the result of doing that is you get to meet beautiful people. People who have dreams and hopes and passions. And maybe they've been picked on, and maybe they've been rejected, and maybe it's made them bitter. Maybe it has made them angry, and it takes extra patience to get that out of them because they're difficult to be around. But when you do, you feel this connection at a deeper level that I cannot explain. But when I feel, it's true, authentic, raw, real. And so I'm beyond excited and driven and passionate to share this with you and hope that you can take something from it. And of course, if you felt connected to this in a deeper way and you want to take this a step further, you can click that button below. It'll send you over to my website where you can sign up to my monthly newsletter. I'm also going to send you my 3-step identity rebuilding guide. It's a toolkit that you can use to navigate identity loss. It talks about emotional regulation, trauma. I have a trauma map that can help you map out where you sit and what are the actions you can take to move forward. Talking about rebuilding purpose, rediscovering who you truly are, and moving towards an ego-soul integrated lifestyle. Thank you very much, and I'll see you on the next video.